Welcome to the MLB Coast to Coast podcast, brought to you by Play Picks and the Lines. Coming to you from the West Coast, Josh Lander, joined by my guy, Nate Weitzer, on the East Coast. Missing Mo Nawara today as he is off on this one, but he will be back with us the rest of the week. Do want you to like and subscribe to that page. Continue to follow along with us. We are bringing you these videos each and every weekday of this MLB regular season. Also want you to head to thelines.com. We got plenty of great written content on there. All your daily articles for the MLB and all the other sports we have ramping up this summer as well. And as always, if you do still need a FanDuel or DraftKings account, head to ftpicks.com or dkpicks.com. Find those listings in your area, such as the big slate we have for Tuesday night. Nate, let's get into it.
Yeah, lots to choose from here on the first official day of summer. Run through the lines real quick. Rockies plus 115 at Miami. Dodgers are minus 175 at Cincy. Cubs plus 140 at Pittsburgh. Yankees minus 165 at Tampa. Detroit plus 160 at Fenway and Boston there. The Giants are plus 150 at Atlanta. Guardians been hot lately, plus 140, though, at Minnesota. Phillies are a toss-up at Texas. The Blue Jays are minus 130 at the White Sox. Mets in plus 110 there at Houston. Cards minus 130 at Milwaukee. Royals plus 140 at Angels. Diamondbacks plus 115 at Padres. And then the Mariners are minus 145 at the A's. And the Braves are one of the biggest favorites here on a pretty even slate, but I still like them here because they've got a young stud on the mound here in Spencer Strider, who it's only taken a couple starts for him to go from plus 1,300 to plus 400 as your likely NL Rookie of the Year as it stands right now. If he can stay healthy, I mean, his stuff is just unbelievable. He's not only getting, that 14 K/9 ratio overall, 16.5 swinging strike rate. He's just dominating righties in particular. 18.70 K/9 ratio versus righties at home. Has not allowed a homer in nearly 19 innings at home so far this year with a 1.09 FIP. So the Giants, they don't have a lot of lefties that really scare me. I think this is a good matchup for him, even though it is his hardest matchup yet. He's really dominated some of the worst offenses out there. But to me, this pick is more a lack of confidence in Anthony DeSclafani, who's coming off an ankle injury, a long layoff. It seems like the ankle is bothering him, at least at his last start before that, because his fastball's down about 2 miles per hour this year, not locating it. Part of that is losing Buster Posey there to help guide him and help him locate. But the fastball's gone from a plus 15 to a -3 right now, and that's just death against this Braves offense, which is plus 33 against fastballs, best in the majors in the last 30 days. DeSclafani has lost 3 straight against Atlanta since they started becoming that real offensive powerhouse, 19 hits over just 14 innings. And I think they've been quiet lately for a few games here, still carried through on their bullpen. So I'm not sure how to play the total here. I wouldn't mind betting Braves over at 5 runs because I think they will be all over this one. But I think they'll win whether it's low scoring or high scoring, that they're just a fantastic team right now and that they should pull through here. If you can get it closer to minus 160, I would definitely take it. Otherwise, you're looking for ways to juke those odds, get them a little more in your favor.
Yeah, I mean, you touched on the Braves, and I would say +1 to everything you said. I mean, mostly, with DeSclafani coming back as well for those Giants, their bullpen is not impressive, and you expect him coming off that injury, not really necessarily going to get more than 5. We can't expect if he makes it that far. He didn't have a great outing last time, but that was all the way back in April, so I'm not really going to hold that against him. He was struggling before he got hurt, but his fit does suggest he's going to get better. I just don't know that he's going to be good enough against the Braves and their young stud right now, who you mentioned all his recent numbers as well, or his numbers on the season, his recent numbers, especially just in his last 3 starts, an ERA under 2, 2-0, that WHIP under 1. He's not walking anybody. He's striking him out at 3 times the rate that he's walking batters as well. So I think there's plenty to like here. I would consider the under if you don't, if you think DeSclafani's FIP and xFIP, which, indicated that he was going to be having a bit more success this season than he initially started with. I think 9 runs is a pretty good deal to get even money on the under. Obviously, the Braves are a much better bet here, and a nice win for them last night with a walk-off as well. So I think the streak really continues for them. I think it's 15 out of 16 right now, and I'm not one to bet against the Braves. But if you did want a little bit extra juice on a bet in this one, I would consider the under as well at 9. Nice little total there. So let's move on to another game that has the pitching matchup of the night for sure. We got the Blue Jays taking on the White Sox. Gausman and Dylan Cease, who, the young guy, and Gausman has been incredible this season as well as Cease recently. He has the highest strikeout per 9 in the majors, almost at 13. He struck out 8+ in 9 of his 13 starts. It's really going to be a fun matchup of power versus power, right? Toronto, especially versus right-handed pitching, it's all power. It's really nothing about their averages. It's their 421 slugging. It's their 90-mile-an-hour exit velocity, second in the majors, and their hardest hit rate at 44% of the balls that they're hitting. Vlad Jr. specifically in the last 2 weeks has an OPS over 1,000. And they're just back over the last couple of weeks in general. Their team, 6th highest WRC plus, whereas previous to that, they were in the bottom 10 coming into that, and the most doubles in the majors in that time as well. So I think their bats, combined with the fact that, Cease is controlling the mound well. Gausman on the other hand, has sort of taken a bit of a downturn. His first 6 starts, you're talking about incredible numbers, 45 innings pitched with a 2.23 xFIP, still have that K percentage up above 30, and his K to walk ratio also above 30, getting swinging strikes with that, amazing breaking ball that he can really throw to get those swinging strikes as well. But in his last 5 starts, that's all kind of come crashing back for him a little bit in the last 25 innings, that xFIP up to about 3.87 in that time, and all the other percentages down for him. It was not a good outing either last time for him against Baltimore, failed to go 3 innings and gave up 7 earned. So a total blow up outing for him, obviously looking to make a turnaround. But against these White Sox, he also doesn't have, despite only about 56 plate appearances against him, he doesn't really have great numbers with that 94% exit velocity that the Sox are hitting off of him, as they're seeing his balls really well. So I think this is an instance where, you can get some value there on the Sox coming into a Toronto team that's expected, minus 130, expected to win this game. But I do think you're getting some value with the way that the White Sox can hit Gausman, his sort of, the little bit of a downturn he's been taking, and the fact that Dylan Cease just continues to be as impressive as anybody in the majors right now.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, Cease is very impressive. I think Gausman is still pitching well despite the run of bad luck here, though. And I think you have far more respect for the Blue Jays lineup than the White Sox, who are really more respect when it comes to the staff overall. I mean, the White Sox, you look at it, are nearly hitting as hot as the Blue Jays, also hitting about 290 in the last 30 days or so, but they're 11-13, and 9 of their last 11 games have gone over. So, I mean, Cease, he runs into an offense that can actually get to him, that has that caliber. I kind of lean the other way here. It's as what Mo says he's betting on. So if you want to follow Mo, that's what he's taking. But I prefer this one actually out in San Diego. The Padres, who are minus 130 against the Diamondbacks, who you had to expect to slow down eventually. They've been pretty profitable against the run line and really just on the road in general as road dogs. But they're 5-14 straight up against that tough NL West, right? And the Padres are no longer the little brother of the Giants Dodgers there. They're playing like an elite team in general. And Sean Manaea, who's coming off a shutdown performance of the Mets, one of the most dangerous offenses out there. And now he gets a Diamondbacks offense that's hitting 232 as the 3rd lowest weighted runs created plus against lefties. And his last 3 against Arizona have just been incredible. He's 3-0. He has a 0.5 ERA. He's been scoreless the last 2. He had 7 no-hit innings in the last one. And it's basically like, since Paul Goldschmidt's been traded, A.J. Pollock a while ago too, that Diamondbacks lineup has been something that lefties lick their chops at facing, and he can come right after them and have another quality outing here. Zach Gallen is going for Arizona, and he's very talented too. He's kind of had these boom-bust moments, though, because he's depending a little bit on the chase rate. He doesn't have a high swinging strike rate. Coincidentally, the Padres have the lowest swinging strike rate in the last 30 days. and they're number one against sliders. So if Gallen's going to hope that they make contact out of the zone with his slider, I don't know if that's going to work out as well. He doesn't give up a ton of hard contact, but I mean, that Padres offense is still capable of producing. Whereas Arizona, yeah, like I said, expecting some regression to continue, and I think Manaea, who's always had a lot of talent, can handle this lineup from the left side of the mound.
Yeah, and that's what you're hoping for. I don't know that Manny Machado is going to play, just talking on that Padres offense right now. He did miss Monday night, so it's pretty questionable if he's going to play Tuesday. That does obviously impact that lineup heavily. But, interestingly enough, the Pods are still, I believe they're the third. They're the third highest team in terms of, if you bet on them, they're the highest money team in the MLB right now at above $900 just from betting on them, or about 9 units, depending on how you play that. But I would say this is a continued spot for them with Manaea. I mean, he hasn't been quite himself, and I think there's a little bit of opportunity if you do believe in Zach Gallen at all to get a little bit. I'm staying away from this one. I don't know that we see eye to eye on this one either, but I would lean Padres if you were liking it. I just think plus 105 for Arizona does seem a little bit enticing, especially if Machado's not in the lineup. Just looks a little bit less dangerous, but fine. We don't have to agree on everything here either way. We still have plenty of stuff to talk about. So let's finish things off with a game that I do believe we agree upon. We've got the Cardinals in Milwaukee, Jack Flaherty and Chichi Gonzalez on the mound for Milwaukee. Got a total of 9 runs in this one. Flaherty hasn't been necessarily it hasn't been the greatest start to this season for him, but I still think that there's some opportunity for the Cards here. Where do you start with this one? What are you looking at first?
Yeah, I mean, it's just a big question mark how Flaherty's going to be able to perform here. Second game back from a major shoulder injury. I think he's on a 60 pitch count. So it is more about the Cardinals' middle relief and whether he can carry over. He was real shaky in his first 2 innings, but then he settled down for that 3rd inning, and then that was all he was asked to do last time out. I think that might carry over here against Milwaukee, who has been hot lately, won 4 of their last 5, starting to hit again, but they still have the highest ground ball rate over the last 30 days. And Flaherty, after struggling against them initially when he kind of became a staple of the Cardinals rotation, he was solid his last 2 against them last year. He was solid overall last year. I think he can get the Cards through a few innings here and then hand it over to the bullpen. And I mean, the other starter is just, a guy you want to attack all day. Chichi Gonzalez, who's now waived from his second team. I mean, he got 2 starts with the Twins after being claimed there, and he had a good ground ball rate, but when he gave up fly balls, it was a 28.5% home run to fly ball ratio. He's been hard hit to the tune of a 44% rate the last 3 years. The fastball now rates -11 the last 3 years. It is only averaging around 92 miles per hour. And St. Louis doesn't put the ball on the ground. They have the second lowest ground ball rate in the National League behind the Dodgers. I think they will be all over him in this one. And I've actually seen the Brewers pick up steam because they've been hot lately, and now can get the Cards closer to -130 just because there's maybe a little questions about Flaherty. But I trust that bullpen to come in behind him and do a decent job. And I don't trust Chichi Gonzalez at all.
Yeah, I think that's really what it comes down to. You might be able to see Flaherty get, close to 75 pitches, but not much past, right? The 4th inning is what we're expecting from him. I am seeing -130 there for the Cards as well, to your point. And I think the value there lays in the fact that, the poor Brewers, this is what their 3rd starting pitcher that they're putting on the shelf after Aaron Ashby went down. Brandon Woodruff's still on there. I believe Freddie Peralta's still on the IL as well. So now they're handing the ball off to Chichi Gonzalez, who's a guy who, like you said, MLB teams are hoping that, he can just have a heavy ball that really just remains on the ground, but that has not been the case. He comes in with a Sierra above 5, almost 5.5 at this point, 5.46, and really just a 3.9% K to walk percentage there. So, look, St. Louis, much better in offense, especially in this last month, 7th in WRC plus. And obviously, they have the advantage in the pitching matchup here, even though you you don't expect, Flaherty to go too far. His SIERA is still at around 3.75. So you still expect some pretty good control from him as well. A nice K to walk ratio. So, I mean, all of this is me feeling good about the Cardinals. Minus 130 is also some pretty good value on them when you have such a shaky pitcher going on the other side of the mound for the Brewers. So that is all the time we have for you guys in this one. Make sure you are liked and subscribed to that page. Continue to follow along with us. We will be back with you guys again tomorrow. So until we see you next, happy betting.